It's my privilege, I would consider, to speak on the subject called a Constitutional Day, Ideas, Achievements and Resolve. Constitution Day, also celebrated as a National Law Day or Samvidhan Divas in India, is observed on 26 November every year to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India. On 26 November 1949, the Constitution Assembly formally adopted Constitution of India. It came into force on 26 January 1950, that is observed as a Republic Day. 2 months period between the adoption and the enforcement of the Constitution was used for thorough reading and translation from English to Hindi. The Constitution Assembly met for 166 days, spread over for 2 years, 11 months and 18 days before the Constitution was adopted. The members of the Constitution Assembly signed 2 handwritten copies of the document, one each in Hindi and English, on January 24, 1950. 2 days later, the Constitution of India became the law of the land. There were several critical issues debated, including language, rights, minorities, governance, structure, were debated in the parliament and around the country. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was a famous politician, jurist and reformer, and he was kind of gladiator for the underprivileged section of the Indian population, and hence rightfully he is called as a father of Indian Constitution. He headed the adopting committee of the Constitution on August 29, 1947, few days after India attained independence. On November 25, 1949, the day before the Constitution Assembly wound up its proceeding, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar made a moving speech. It ended with the 3 warnings for the future. The first warning was with regard to the place of protest in a democracy. He says, one must abandon the method of civil disobedience, non-cooperation and satyagraha, which we are not following. The second warning dealt with the unthinking submission to charismatic authority, that is, bhakti in a religion may be used to road to salvation of the soul, but in politics, bhakti or a hero worship is a sure road to degradation and eventually dictatorship. Now also we are following bhakti in a politics. His final warning was that India should not be contented with political democracy as inequality and hierarchy were still embedded in Indian society. If we continue to deny it, the equality for a long, we will do so only by putting our political democracy in a peril. The Indian Constitution is one of the biggest constitutions in the world because the creator of the Constitution took the essence from America, British and Japanese Constitution. It can be said that the Indian Constitution is the best, the Constitution in the world. The Indian Constitution offers guarantees few fundamental rights to citizens that our state and the central government should implement in practice. Any harm to the democratic and secular fabric of the nation should be condemned because harm to the democracy of India is harming to the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India is a very dynamic creation of our lawmakers. The Constitution of India, as we all know, is a supreme law of the country, and every citizen of our country has to abide by the Constitution. The Indian Constitution is one of the lengthiest constitutions in the world. The Indian Constitution has incorporated various articles by taking inspiration from the various constitutions around the world. As we all know, India is a very diverse country and it was necessary to draft a long constitution incorporating various provisions in order to accommodate various differences. The parent document for a drafting of the Indian Constitution was the Government of India Act of 1935. Now, when the Government of India Act 1935 was drafted, the Dr. Ambedkar was one of the members, and that the document itself was very lengthy. The constitution makers found it necessary to incorporate various provisions to provide special attention to the state like Assam, Mizoram, Nagaland. Various provisions were also incorporated to uplift the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. The preamble of our constitution provides India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic country. There are also various other terms in the preamble which ensures equality and protect the people. The various terms like justice, liberty, equality and fraternity are defined over here. The term sovereignty was incorporated in the preamble to provide supreme power to the government. The term sovereignty is the backbone of our Indian Constitution that protects the authority of the people. Sovereignty is an essential factor of every state. The term sovereignty as applied to a state implies supreme, absolute and uncontrollable power by which any state is governed and which resides within itself, whether residing in a single individual or a number of individuals or the whole body of the people. The sovereignty in India is of two types. It says internal sovereignty and external sovereignty. Internal sovereignty means the state has the power to govern themselves and make laws in certain matters. Now, external sovereignty means the government is the supreme authority and can acquire and cede any part of the territory for a proper reason. Now we'll come to another term, secularism. Secularism is mandatorily to incorporate this term to promote peace between various communities in our country. Secularism promotes the development and unity of the various religions. The term secular was added in a 42nd Amendment in the preamble. In the case of S.R. Bomai versus Union of India, it was held that in the matters of a state, religion has no place, and also said that secularism is one of the basic features of the constitution. In a famous case of Indira Nehru Gandhi versus Sri Rajnarayan and other, held that the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on the ground of religion. Now coming to the term of democracy. Democracy is an ancient concept that is followed by many South Indian rulers. From many time immemorial, the democracy provides people with the power to govern. The representative form of government is suitable for governing our country due to huge population. In the case of Mohanlal Tripathi versus District Magistrate, the meaning of the term democracy was discussed, and according to the case, it was held the democracy is a concept, a political philosophy, an ideal which is practiced by many nations, that is culturally advanced and politically matured, resorting to governance of a representative of the people, elected directly or indirectly. The main reason for incorporating democracy is to provide freedom to the people and to choose their own representative and serve them from the tyrant leaders. Now, the system of socialism promotes equality among the people and ensures the welfare of the people. The term socialist was incorporated by 42nd Amendment. The term socialist was discussed in the case of Samanta versus State of Andhra Pradesh. And according to the case, the term socialist is used to lessen the inequalities in income and status and to provide equality of opportunity and facilities. Many leaders were interested in the concept of socialism. Especially Jawaharlal Nehru was very much interested in this concept as he was inspired by Russian Revolution. There were also other famous leaders like Jayaprakash Narayan who helped in the development of this concept. The concept of socialism expels capitalism, which is considered as a threat to the economy. There were developments in economic policies to promote the concept of socialism. Coming to the term of republic, republic was inspired by a famous constitution of France. The term republic provides the people power to elect their own representatives. The term republic is the basis of our constitution, as it ensures there would be no hereditary rulers and also ensures that the election would be happening in our country. The President of India is an elected head of the state for a fixed tenure. Now, the preamble of the Constitution of India guarantees three types of justices, that social justice, economic justice and political justice. Now, what does the social justice means? The concept of social justice promotes equal treatment of a citizen and promotes the rule of law. This term ensures that there would be no discrimination among the citizens on different grounds. The fundamental rights also provided in Part 3 of our Constitution and also ensures a social justice. Now, what does the economic justice means? The economic justice means concept of economic justice avoid discrimination between genders, provides equal opportunity to work and ensures the equal distribution of our wealth. Now, coming to the political justice, this term provides all citizens to participate in a political proceeding. Now, coming to the term of liberty and fraternity is provided in the preamble of our Indian Constitution. The term liberty and fraternity was used in a French Revolution, therefore we use the liberty and fraternity and equality. Now, coming to the Constitution of India, that Article 74 and Article 75 is concerned with the parliamentary system at the center, and Article 163 and Article 164 is concerned with the parliamentary system at the states. Article 74 provides Indian Constitution that there should be a Council of Minister with the Prime Minister, and Council of Minister can aid and advise the President, and President accordingly act upon. And Article 75 of the Indian Constitution deals with the other provision relating to appointment of the minister. The presidential form of government is followed in a countries like United States of America. The president is the head of the state. In the presidential system of government, we have the parliamentary system. In the parliamentary system is preferred over the presidential system, as it ensures the equal distribution of power and also power not within the hands of single person. The drafters of our constitution did not prefer the presidential system, as the executive and legislature would become independent of each other. The Indian Constitution is neither rigid nor flexible. This also is one of the reasons for its lengthiest constitution. The famous example of a rigid constitution is the rigid constitution of the US, and it knows as a rigid constitution, the amendment procedure is very difficult. The Indian Constitution is very flexible and amenable as compared to the US Constitution. It has gone through 103 amendments. The Indian Constitution is a unique blend of rigidity and flexibility. Now, in the words of Dr. Ambedkar, the however good constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will prove it to be bad. However bad constitution may be, if those implementing it are good, it will be proved to be good. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar contributed significantly to the framing of Indian Constitution. No one can grudge the claim for him that he was the chief architect of our Indian Constitution. He was in fact the main guiding force behind the drafting committee. This was highlighted by T.T. Krishnamachari, who was himself a member of a drafting committee, when in one of his speeches in the Constitution Assembly he said, quote, "The House is perhaps aware that the 7 members nominated by you One had resigned from the house and was not replaced. One died and was not replaced. One was away in America and his place was not filled up. And another person was engaged in a state affairs and there was a void to that extent. One or two people were far away from Delhi and perhaps reason of health did not permit them to attend. So it happened ultimately that the burden of drafting this constitution fell on Dr. Ambedkar, and I have no doubt that we are grateful to him for having achieved this task in a manner which undoubtedly commendable. This was said on 5th November 1948 by T.T. Krishnamachari. Even the President of Assembly, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, himself praised his services as a chairman of a drafting committee when he observed, quote, "Sitting in the chair, watching the proceeding from the day to day, I have realized, as nobody else could have, with that zeal and devotion, the members of the drafting committee, and especially its chairman Dr. Ambedkar, in spite of his independent health, have worked. We would never make a decision which was or could be ever so right as when put him on the drafting committee and made him his chairman. He has not only justified his election but has added luster to the work which he has done." This was said on 26 November 1949 by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Now, the social reform movement predated the movement for independence. The political struggle that was being waged by the national leaders reached its culmination on 15th August 1947 when India got independence. Efforts which were aimed at reforming the society could now easily be provided with further impetus because of the political freedom and the new awakening which had come to the people in the wake of independence. On this Constitution Day, this is my message to all the students who are studying law. Wish you happy Constitution Day.